Hey, this is Eric from One Rig Design. In today's video, I'm going to go over installing the One Rig rack system on the new ATACH Catalyst ATACH luggage system. So you'll receive your One Rig rack and the hardware kit. The hardware kit for this sled is going to include 4 1/4-20 T-nuts, 4 5mm thick nylon spacers, and then your bolts, 1/4-20 bolts and washers. To install it onto the ATACH system, we're going to need a couple screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips. The smaller flathead you can get, the better. Alright, so we're going to be using the actual ATACH mounting brackets to secure the rack down. And all you're going to do, you can see on this sled here, which is a ZR RXC, here's your 4 attach points, your ATACH factory points, and they each have the attach holes in them already. And these 1/4-20 T-nuts are going to be slid in underneath the plastic bracket into where these holes are, so you can use these holes to bolt down the rack. To do so, I already have the T-nuts in these 2 front slots, and I'm using this middle slot here, and on the back attach points, we're going to use the more rear slot here and here. So if you see on your attached mounting point, underneath it, there's a little opening. You can slide the 1/4-20 T-nut into that opening, and then here's where the small screwdriver comes handy. And you'll want to make sure each of your T-nuts are somewhat centered in those 4 openings. So once you do that, you can take your nylon spacers, position them roughly over the T-nuts. You can take your bolts and washers, put the washers on the bolts ahead of time. Saves a little bit of hassle. Then we'll take our rack. Here's the rack. I've already pre-installed 4 link, Skidoo link brackets in this example, which are sold separately, available from your Skidoo dealership. And you're going to align the holes in the rack with those spacers you just put on. In the configuration that I'm going with here, so I'm going to use these 2 holes in the front, and in the back, the holes will end up being in this last full slot. Alright, so once you have that roughly positioned, you can take your small flathead, and it's handy just to poke it through to align all your hardware. Then you're going to take your bolt, drop it in there, and you should just be able to catch the T-nut threads. And you're going to start to spin that T-nut because there's nothing holding it. But you can catch it enough to get the thread started. And here's where the small screwdriver comes in handy. You're going to take it, and underneath the attached bracket, there's all these holes. Just shove it up in there, basically. And that's going to capture that T-nut and prevent it from spinning. So you take your Phillips and just slightly snug it down. You don't want to go all the way on the first one because you still got 3 more to line up. So even that's maybe a touch too tight, so I'll back it off just a hair. And repeat that same process with the other ones. I'll line all it up. Drop my bolt in there. Give it some spin till it catches. Shove my flathead up in there. You can kind of feel it. There it goes, it's caught. And I should mention that it's certainly a decent idea to put some Loctite on these. I'm not doing it here because this rack's going to come on and off. Got those 2 done. Now on to this side. Align your hardware. Drop your bolts in. Put your flathead in there to capture the T-nut. Starts to catch and wind it down. And the last one, once we install this last one, we're going to go back around and make sure they're all snugged up now that they're all aligned. Didn't quite have that one caught. And go back around, snug them all down. As far as the torque spec, as you can see, I'm just hitting it with an impact. This one's still not caught, is it? All right, once you have all those snugged down, this last one's just a little finicky. Once you have all those snugged down, your one rig rack is installed. Give it a good shake. Shouldn't be going anywhere. And as a quick example, you can go to the other installation video and it shows the full range of accessories, but this here is a Milwaukee pack out. Yep, backwards. Drop in the slots, fix on, nice and secure. Take it back off. And your Skidoo fuel can. And voila, there you have the installation of the one rig rack on the new ATACH Catalyst ATACH platform.